This is a quick video looking at the difference between the Canon C300, the original, and the Canon C300 Mark II. There's a few methods here showing how these cameras match up. So let's have a look. So let's have a look what we've got on screen. So on the left side of the screen we've got the vector scope, and on the right side of the screen this is a one-shot chart from DSC Labs. So on the chart you've got black and white with the mid-grey there. These are skin tones, and then these are your colours which should match up with the 709. So this is for your so you can see these colours on a vector scope which we've got over on the left. Let's start with the original. So this is the original Canon C300. If we switch between the C300, let's look at, this is on the 709 profile, which I think on the C300 is down as normal 3, which gives you roughly a 709 profile. And then this is the 709 profile on the Mark II. And immediately you can tell that there's a slightly sort of muted look. As you look back on the original, it's very poppy, very vivid colours. There's a slightly sort of more muted look going on there. Also, if you look at the vector scope, we've got a slight change there on the Mark II, especially on the skin tones. That line that you see there on the vector scope represents skin tone, and those are all very, very closely clustered around that line on the Mark II. On the original, they're drifting off slightly more of a kind of yellowish tone to them there. But I think the main thing actually is just is what gets you is that sort of just the poppy vividness, that really vivid original and the muted Mark II. Okay, the next profile I'm going to look at is, which you can download from the Able Cine site. It's called AB Normal, and it is for kind of indoor studio environments. So that's the original C300, and that is the Mark II. So that's the original, that's the Mark II. The next thing that I want to look at here is, yeah, you've still got that same, I mean, it's not quite as pronounced, but you've definitely, you can see again, that's that vivid original, and then that kind of muted, there's the muted Mark II there. The next shot is Canon log. So on the C300 you've only got one log option, which is this, and on the Mark II there are 3 log options: Canon log, Canon 2, Canon log 2, and Canon log 3. So this is the just the Canon log. So that is the original, and that's the Mark. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. That is the original, and that's the Mark II. So you've got original there, and the Mark II. I mean, so first of all, there's, I feel that there's kind of a less of a difference just looking at it, but that is, I suppose, because with it being a log image. But also, if you look at the vector scope with the Mark II, again, you can see that most of these, your cyan, green, yellow, red, magenta, blue, they do all look very close to hitting those squares if they were fully saturated and brought all the way out. Whereas if you go back to the original, blue is skewed a little bit around towards cyan, and cyan slightly more blue. The others actually seem to look like they'd fall in reasonably close, actually, with green and the red. Let's have a look at those. So those are just the original log images, and then the last shot I'm going to show you before you die of boredom is this is with the LUT applied. So again, we'll start with the original. That's with the LUT applied, and this is the Mark II with the LUT applied. That's the original. That is the Mark II. I'll put another video up of just these clips so you can sort of play around with them yourself with the vector scope. I think my overall feeling there is the using the log is probably immediately gets you to a better place where you're sort of slightly closer, slightly more closely matched, and also there'll be a bit more room in the picture for the editor to play with. So my choice would probably be to go for log over those options.